Raider Nation, tap in. We talking football, man. My name's Steady, and I got another one like the other one. So the projected number one overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, just appeared on the Up&Adams Show with Kay Adams. Kay Adams is one of the most hated sportscasters among Raider Nation, and I don't know how everybody gonna feel about it, man. Me personally, I really don't give a shit about none of that. You know what I mean? They gonna interview with hundreds of different, media personalities, whatever you want to call them, throughout their career. You know what I mean? Not really a big deal, but obviously it's understandable how everybody feels now. Like I said, it was an interview. You ain't got to go nowhere. We're gonna break it down right here, man. Don't move, sit tight. I'm not gonna play the video. I'm gonna try to do the audio in the background just because of the copyright thing. I'm trying to figure out how all that shit works. But I pulled a couple questions that I feel was relevant for Raider Nation, and we're gonna get into it, man.
Love him. You're already picking up the West Coast offense, which is amazing, and I love that. From when I met you at Super Bowl that week to now, how much growth, how much more comfortable are you in the West Coast offense?
Yeah, I think that'll be tested when it's in rookie minicamp to whatever offense I go to or in OTAs. But I think it was very important that I reached out to Brian Greasy because all the pro day was great. I wanted that to be for my guys, to make sure those guys got as many throws as possible, wherever they wanted to showcase. Because my goal is to be the best quarterback come September. And with Brian, I was able to work a lot of under center and a lot of concepts that I'll be running every offense, whether it's a West Coast offense or not. So day one, I'm comfortable going under center, staying a cadence, calm the play in the huddle, and those learning curves that might take the first week or week and a half for rookie quarterbacks, but try to eliminate that so I can be best fitted to the system I'm in.
Now, the majority of Raider Nation already knew that Fernando Mendoza was training with Brian Greasy, right? He's been doing it for about almost a month now, right? Now, the narrative that first came out when this was released, when that information was released, was that pretty much the Raiders linked them up together, right? On purpose so that he can learn the playbook, which I didn't believe in the first place, right? Now, this just pretty much confirms. Mendoza mentioned that he contacted Brian Greasy, right? And that's very smart of him, right? And this is why I think that little part was important to mention, right? For him to think about it and say, look, what's the probability of me playing in the West Coast offense, no matter what team I land on, right? It's highly likely that he's going to land with a team. Obviously, it's like 99% chance that he lands with us. So that alone tells him that maybe he should prepare, maybe he should, you know what I mean, lay the proper foundation so that when he does get with this team, he won't be too far behind, right? That goes into who he is as a player, right? How he prepares, the type of focus and determination that he puts into everything that he does, man. For him to mention, like, yeah, I contacted Brian Greasy. I thought that this, would just be a good thing for me to do, man. I think that was very smart on him. You don't really see that a lot, right? You see quarterbacks and players training, right, but not necessarily for a specific scheme, right? This was sort of a two-part question. Here's pretty much the second part.
Where are you with being under center? Are you an amateur, like you're saying at Excel, or how much more comfortable are you after working on it with Greasy?
I have a lot to improve. I mean, I just try to be pretty. I mean, I just try to. It's a different game. However, having the under center work and trying to make the run actions look the same as the pass actions is very important in fooling the defense and for the West Coast offense. So I'm just trying to do the best I can in that sense.
Fernando Mendoza is somebody that's too humble for life, right? Somebody that's forever downplaying, the great things that he's done, right? Now, whether he's telling the truth or not about how far he has progressed with working under center, I do think that, I mean, you can see, if you watch the pro day, you can see him working under center a little bit, right? Not a lot, but you can see that he doesn't look like clumsy, right? He looks comfortable. I don't think he's gonna come out and say, yeah, I'm this far ahead, this. I think that part of being humble is always knowing that you can get better, right? And that's the great thing. That's one of the great things that I like about him is that he always, no matter what he accomplishes in life, he understands that he can get better. He can do better, right? And not only that, he's always striving to get better, right? One of the things that impresses me is he has the most humblest personalities, but once he gets on the football field, that's just crazy. It's like a switch that just flips, right? And then he just turns into this laser focused, super dedicated quarterback who executes. And that goes into this next question.
You're always smiling. My question is, what am I supposed to know about you, Fernando, as you enter the league, whatever team you might go to, where you're so affable and all about, I think, uplifting others, and you're so smiling, and then you turn around and I'm watching you, truck a linebacker, and a guy who I'm told by Mike Sturdivant wants to take his red shirt off at practice so you can get hit. How am I supposed to understand these two parts of you and how they work together and when it switches?
I mean, kudos. You've talked to a lot of amazing teammates and people who've had on the show. That's great kudos to your team of having a lot of great people on for interviews. But there's a double side. I would say I'm a very happy, energetic, and optimistic person, especially off the field. But when I'm on the field, I know there's a job to be done. I want to execute at a high level, and I never want to let my teammates down. So any way possible that I can best serve my teammates, I'm going to do that. Whether it's taking my red shirt off, whether it's trucking a linebacker, whether it's checking to a run play, whatever it is, I'll do.
You said that the Esquire shoot, you didn't want it to get into your process. I'm trying to think of what that even means. You're not quite in the league yet. But
I didn't want it to replace a lifting day or a throwing day.
Or
so I want to make sure that was on an off day but also don't want any future teammates to get the wrong idea about me because I'm solely focused on football. It was a great opportunity and it fit into my schedule. And it was a great opportunity that I'll have that covered for the rest of my life.
For those of you that don't know, as you can see by the pictures, Fernando Mendoza was on the cover of Esquire. When they first approached him, at first he didn't want to do it because he felt like it was going to be a distraction. You know what I mean? But a little bit of advice from Nate Burleson made him feel comfortable with doing it. Now, there's two reasons why that's pretty cool, right? Because first of all, it's Esquire. I mean, come on. Who don't want to be on the cover of Esquire? That's like being on the cover of GQ. You know what I mean? But besides that, which I didn't know before, his mom was a model. You know what I mean? So for his mom to be a model and then for him to be doing this, you know what I mean? It's, in a sense, it's kind of like a full circle moment to where it's like a generational thing. Like, I think that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? But for him, that whole thing with him not wanting it to be a distraction, I think that just goes to show what type of person he is. And when talking about him working under center, him working with Brian Griese, those are some of the reasons why I don't think it's going to be an issue, right? Now, so far it's been about a month, right? He's been working with Brian Griese for about a month. Footwork, West Coast offense concepts, working in the huddle, right? Because in college, a lot of them don't get in the huddle, right? They just call assignments here or there, you know what I mean? So being able to get in the huddle and being intentional with play calling and who you're talking to, you know what I mean? Sufficiently too, because you got to get them in, call a play, and then get out, right? And then also cadence. I think working with the cadence, I feel is more difficult than anything else, right? Than anything that he would have to transition to. It's very difficult to be in college and to go with a clap and then to actually use a cadence and be in rhythm because everybody's going based off your rhythm, right? Based off your cadence. So, and then we got Kirk Cousins who has his own cadence, right? So I'm thinking typically when you're working with centers, the cadence has to be sort of similar, right? So it can't be too far off. And I'm sure he's going to, he has his own cadence, but once he gets into training camp, a lot of that progress would really, he'll make a lot of progress once he gets to training camp. I think right now, for a month's worth, he has that foundation. But then you got, what is it? Like, let's just say May, right? May, June, July, August. That's 4 months, right? So he already did a month of training with Brian Greasy. And then once he gets drafted, he'll have another 4 months of actually working with the team, right? Actually installing the offense, actually, working in the center, working with the cadence, things like that, man. So with his preparation, with his determination, with his focus, with his overall just responsible type of character, man, I'm not even worried about it. You know what I mean? I think dudes like Dan is just blowing it out of proportion. I think he'll be just fine, man. Now, I want to play this last clip or second to last clip, right? He's basically just asked if he's met Kirk Cousins, man, and what he thinks of him.
I have one for you. Have you talked to Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I talked to him at the Raiders top 30 visit. He was there. He was there in the building. I was able to say hi to him. Someone who has a very similar play style as me, I was able to watch all of his clips from the Minnesota Vikings. Funny enough, when I was at Berkeley, I just watched him just to learn from his game, the way that he reads defenses and his footwork. And to be able to have this full circle moment, someone who I've studied to potentially get the opportunity to play with, someone who's a man of God, who's very cerebral and has so much success throughout his entire career would be an absolute blessing. And whatever nuggets he would want to give and then I would learn, I would take in and emulate in my own game. And hopefully I can be teammates with him. And he's not only a great player, he's a great leader, man.
That's pretty much going to do it for this video, man. I just really wanted to touch bases with the progress that he's made since training with Brian Greasy. My opinions on everything, obviously. With Kirk Cousins here, I definitely think that this is the best situation, not only for the Raiders, but for Fernando Mendoza too. And it has nothing to do with not being able to start. He definitely has what it takes to start, man. But it does no harm. It can only do good. I'm a big fan of the move. Let me know what you think, though, man. Let me know who you think is going to win the quarterback position. Let me know what you think, man. What's the record looking like, man? What do you think we going for? Obviously, we all know Fernando's going to be drafted. If you see this before the draft, if you see this after the draft, it don't even matter, man. Make your prediction. I ain't going to do the normal outro I do for my videos. I'm going to end it with this audio clip from the interview, man. Everybody, make sure you go get your screens.
And good for people. You're giving people a huge, incredible message. You're here and partnered on behalf of Pfizer. Early detection is everything. Cancer is something that is not exclusive. We all deal with it. It's all part of our life cycle of people we know and love. What are you doing with Pfizer?
Everybody goes through adversity, and I've been able to vocalize my adversity, especially with my family and health, and put that at the forefront. I believe partnerships that are tangible and have the best real life application and positive application to society are very, very important to me. And that's why I teamed up with Pfizer, because 50% of Americans are behind on their cancer screenings. And I've seen personally how important screenings are in my family's life. So that's why I want to use my platform to push Pfizer, everyone to go to PfizerForAll.com/screening to see if they're eligible for a cancer screening. And it's not like pushing a certain type of drug. It's pushing getting screened for cancer and just seeing if you're eligible, and to take your health at the forefront and make sure it's a prominent part of your life, because health is wealth, and just to best serve yourself.
It's so true. And I think it's just like such an important reminder in the hustle and bustle of life. I have cancer in my family. My mom has cancer. So I go and I do screenings every 6 months to make sure that I'm okay. It's about getting ahead of it. Early detection is so important. I mean, the statistics are crazy, Fernando. 1 in 3 people in the US will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. It is a sad reality. It is a true reality. It is reality. So routine screenings are the name of the game. It is the Every Breakthrough Matters campaign with Pfizer, and a powerful